Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello everyone, welcome back to this course on Circular Economy for Sustainable Buildings. Now, you would have noticed that I was using words like EPD or eco-labeling somewhere before in the first few lectures. So, today and in the next class, we will look at what is EPD. So, EPD means Environmental Product Declarations, and it comes in the form of eco-labeling. Now, what is EPD? EPD or Environmental Product Declaration is actually a document, and in this document we get all the information about the environmental impact of a product, of a building material through its life cycle, starting from extraction of raw materials, manufacture of that raw material into a product, transportation of the product to the site, and also installation of the product in the construction site, also the repairs or maintenance and end of life and waste management. Actually, the EPD should have, that document should have all this information. Now, what is eco-labeling? Now, eco-labeling is actually, there are three types of eco-labels. Okay, we will see one by one, but generally eco-labeling is a voluntary method. At least as of now, it is not mandatory, but it is a voluntary method of environmental performance certification as well as labeling that is practiced all around the world. So, an eco-label will identify a particular product or services which are proven to be environmentally preferable within that specific category. And in contrast to generally giving green symbols or calling a product green, or any claim that is made randomly by the suppliers, when we go for eco-labeling of a product, there is an impartial third party verification for the products or services that are determined independently and in a very transparent manner by a particular environmental leadership criteria, which is again based on life cycle considerations for that given task. Now, there are three types of eco-label. Type 1 is a third party certified eco-label. Type 2 is self-declared environmental claims, and type 3 is quantitative environmental data. So, what are the benefits of going for environmental labeling? What happens is, first is consumer information. So, eco-labels will provide clear product sustainability information to the user and all the stakeholders. That is the first benefit. The second benefit is the environmental impact. So, eco-labels will encourage the manufacturers to reduce product footprints, because now you have an understanding of the measure of issues related to environment by either using that product or using the. Third is market differentiation. So, eco-labels will offer a competitive edge and attract eco-conscious consumers, especially those who are trying to either go towards a green building certification or those who are already very aware that their buildings must be made of green products or products which cause less environmental damage. Fourth benefit is the regulatory compliance. That is, these eco labels will align with environmental regulation and standards, and therefore their benchmark for environmental sustainability will be very, very high. And fifth is transparency. Now, eco labels will promote honesty and trust in the marketplace. So, as we said, now we have three types of eco labels. So, the first type is called as the third party certified. So, this type 1, which is the third party certified, this eco label is awarded by an independent third party which will verify the environmental labeling claim of the product, and accordingly, based on very rigorous criteria, they will evaluate this product for its environmental greenness. This certification process is very, very stringent and credible, and this eco labeling is actually one of the best because it undergoes a lot of scrutiny. It also gets a lot of comprehensive evaluation based on the product's environmental aspect throughout its life cycle, throughout the life cycle of the product. Some of the important characteristic of this product or this kind of eco labeling is: first is, it is an independent verification. So, the assessment and certifications are conducted by a third party, impartial but recognized organization, and this ensures that there is no bias or no conflict of interest or no vested interest in its certification. The second important criteria is that it gives a life cycle assessment. So, the criteria used for this certification will consider the entire product's life cycle, right from raw materials, manufacture, usage and also disposal. Third characteristic is its transparency. It's very transparent because the standards and criteria for certification are available in an open public domain. Therefore, when anybody wants to go for the certification, they are aware of what all data will be scrutinized of the product or the services. So, there are many examples of this type 1 eco label, but the main criteria or main characteristics will be their independent verification, the fact that life cycle assessment is considered holistically, right from the raw materials to disposal, after use or after retrofit, after all of that, even up to disposal. And of course, third, as I said, is transparency, because when we mean by transparency, we will know the basis of evaluation. And because it's an independent verification, it is devoid of any bias or any conflicts. So, there is a company in Germany, Blue Angel in Germany, which covers a wide range of products and services, and this is recognized very well internationally for its rigorous environmental standards. So, one example is the Blue Angel, that's in Germany, and there is also another one which is the Nordic Swan. Nordic Swan. This is mostly for the Scandinavian countries, and it evaluates the environmental impact of products and services from a life cycle perspective. We saw that type 1 is verified by a third party, and then we have the type 2 eco label, which is self-declared environmental claim. So, this type 2 eco label, this is based on the self-declaration in terms of environmental aspect made by the manufacturer, supplier, or even the importers. So, these labels do not require verification by an independent third party, and therefore, the accuracy of the claim made as far as the environmental repercussion is the onus of its accuracy is largely on the entity who declares it. This category will allow companies to highlight specific environmental attributes, specific aspects such as energy efficiency, reduced chemical usage, or even incorporating some recycled materials. So, in this there is just one risk, that because it is self-declared, sometimes the information given out could be exaggerated, or sometimes it could even be misleading. Let us now see what are its key characteristics of type 2 eco label. First is self-certification. So, here the manufacturers will directly assert the environmental benefit of the product, and there will not be any external verification, a third party verification like in type 1. Second is the claims will be very specific. So, because that manufacturer is going to give a certification or going to declare himself, he will focus on the particular positive environmental aspects of the product, such as whether it is recyclable or biodegradable. So, he will not focus on the holistic environmental repercussion, but he will focus on what is most important according to him that makes the product environmentally green or sustainable. Third is the flexibility. So, companies can sometimes tailor the claims to specific features of the products that are beneficial environmentally according to them. And then fourth is regulation. So, there is a lack of third party certification or even national or international advertising standards which often regulate these claims to prevent misleading information. So, despite the fact that there is no regulation, the agencies are very clear to tell that this is a self-declared product. So, an example of this could be claims such as made from. So, what could be the likely claims? Likely claims could focus on made from recycled materials, or another claim can be that it is very energy efficient. Now, there is no quantity or no any other information backing this. So, just claims like this are very broad, and of course, they are very helpful as compared to products which do not even go for that kind of a claim or declaration, but definitely it is not better than the first one, which is a eco label type 1, which is self verified. Then the third type is the eco label type 3, which is quantitative environmental data. So, type 3 eco labels are called as environmental product declarations, and they provide a very detailed and quantitative ecological data about the product's life cycle after conducting comprehensive analysis. Here, this labeling type will focus on the product's specific environmental aspects. It could be the GHG emissions of the product, or the amount of water that product has used, or the energy the product has consumed during each of its stages, such as manufacturing stage, or during building usage, or during disposal phase. So, unlike type 1 and type 2 labels, type 3 labels does not endorse or certify the products as, in qualitative means, by saying it is environmentally superior or something like that, but it will give a very empirical, factual, I will say factual, unbiased, empirical report of the environmental impact of the product throughout its life cycle. So, what are the key characteristics of eco label type 3? The first is it gives a detailed life cycle analysis. So, type 3 labels will involve a complete analysis of the environmental impact of the product throughout its life cycle, and this will start from raw material extraction to the disposal of the product. The second is quantitative data. So, the information that you get from these labels is actually specific data on various environmental impact. So, that could be what? How much is the GHG emission, greenhouse gas emission of that product, or what is its carbon footprint, or what is its water consumption in various stages, how much is the energy consumption, and so on. And then it also comes in a very standardized format. So, what is this? The information is presented in a standard format, which is based on a format which is recognized by international agencies, and international methodologies also follow that format. This makes it very easy for consumers and businesses to compare many products in a very objective manner, because the product information is in the same format. Then fourth is verification. So, even though the manufacturer provides the information, this is typically verified by a third party to ensure that the information given by the manufacturer is accurate and correct. So, it is verifiable. Now, an example of this is, say, construction materials, which often have EPDs that detail the environmental impact. This is crucial for building projects seeking green building certification, such as LEED, GRIHA, BREEAM, EDGE, LEED India, and so on. Various consumer electronic features, they use type 3 labeling to show that their energy consumption or the impact that product has on the environment during their operational lifetime is measurable, and they give the exact measure. So, these are the three types of eco label we saw. But who is going to deal with the eco labeling at an international level? So, at an international level, the body dealing with eco labeling is called as GEN, Global Eco Labeling Network, or GEN. So, the Global Eco Labeling Network is actually a not-for-profit association which involves in third-party eco labeling member organizations from around the world. These organizations will set clear criteria, certify and provide a label for use in association with the products and services with lower environmental burdens and impacts than comparable products or services with the same functions. So, they actually have a benchmark product and they compare the other products also, which comes for certification based on the benchmark. In accordance with its objective to promote and advance eco-labeling internationally, the GEN officials represent the interests of eco-labeling in various international forums and provide information as well as assistance to developing the programs. So, a GEN member eco-label on a product or service means it is certified against a science-based standard. So, it is that strong that it has a backing of being a science-based standard. The requirements and product categories can differ, but all standards will address multiple environmental and health issues, which could include toxicity of the material or toxicity during processing the material. Second is the air quality. Third is the energy consumed or the energy consumed when you use the product. Fourth is water consumption of the product. Fifth is its ability to be recycled. Sixth is how much of natural resources has it used. And seventh is any other areas of concern. So, what happens is the GEN member programs have attained the status of type 1 according to ISO 14024-2018 Environmental Labels and Declarations Act. Now, currently the GEN has 34 members representing nearly 60 countries and areas around the world. They have full members, that is, they have type 1 eco labels as specified in ISO 14024 standards, and they also have associate members, which is nothing but organizations that operate environmental labeling programs which work towards meeting the ISO 14024 definition of type 1 labeling, eco labeling principle. Now, let us look at the guiding principles of ISO 14024, because we said that they are the benchmark standards that most people follow, which is specified in these standards. So, there are various principles which are like, they are voluntary in nature, that is the first principle. Then there are specific criteria based on which the product is evaluated, which could be life cycle considerations or measurable levels. Then it has to be very transparent, so that calls for open participation and verifiable data. And then they can be used in international trade through an open application or through mutual recognition, and they have to comply with legislation. So, we will be looking at all of these separately, but I thought I will tell you this in brief first. So, the ISO 14024 is an environmental labeling, and eco labels will provide the consumers with information about the products in terms of their environmental characteristics. So, this is either attached to the product or printed on the packaging, or sometimes it is even inscribed on the product themselves, because they aim to encourage the demand for goods that do not harm or have less impact on the environment. This is very important. The aim of ISO 14024 is to encourage the demand for goods that do not harm or have less impact on the environment. Because of this, it seeks to stimulate the potential for continuous environmental improvement. Now, we will look at the guiding principles of ISO 14024. The first and foremost guiding principle is that it is voluntary in nature. So, applicants will comply with environmental and other relevant legislation. That is the second principle. Third is the criteria development will include a comprehensive life cycle consideration approach and not part by part approach. The environmental criteria will differentiate environmentally preferable products from others. Also, the criteria based on indicators arising from life cycle considerations will be used, and the criteria will be set at attainable and measurable levels and not levels which are so aspiring that no product can meet the criteria. Fitness for purpose and levels of performance of products will be taken into account in developing these criteria. So, if we look at the other criteria, these criteria are set with a predefined validity period, and then the criteria and product function requirements will be reviewed and potentially revised within a predefined time period. Also, there is a formal open participation process for selection and review of product categories, and environmental criteria and product function categories. All the products of the environmental criteria and function characteristics will be verifiable, and say for example, if you say the product consumes only so much energy, that will be verified. If you say because of the product the AQI or air quality index in the room improves by so much percent, that will be verified, that will be reviewed, and then only it will be accepted. So, there will be review of the product categories, of the environmental criteria and product function categories. So, all the product will be verified, compliance assessment will happen, which will incorporate generally acceptable standards and methods. Throughout the process, there will be transparency at every stage of eco-labeling as well as eco-labeling program development and operation. There will be information on significant program aspects for inspection and comment by any interested parties. So, unnecessary obstacles in international trade will not exist, and if anything is considered unnecessary, that procedure will be removed. Application and participation is open to all potential applicants. Could be a startup, could be a very big firm, but it is open to everybody. The development and selection of criteria based on very sound scientific empirical engineering principles is done. The program therefore becomes free from any bias or undue influence or any vested interest. The fees that is collected is kept as low as possible and applied equitably to all the participants and licensees. So, when we say equitable, it means say if it is a new company which has come out with a new product, definitely they will not have so much fees as a company which is well established. So, equity is followed. Also, mutual recognition is deemed desirable for promoting these green products, and that is one of the principles of ISO 14024 standards. Now, let us see What is the accreditation by GEN? So, when we go for accreditation by GEN, which is actually this symbol, which is their trademark, it assures that Green Pro labeled certification is at par with any international standard and protocols for green product labeling. It creates an excellent opportunity for Green Pro eco-labeled products in order to gain international recognition. It will also facilitate enhanced global market outreach and create export opportunities. This has recognition by UN Environment, and UN Environment has tested their guidelines for product sustainability information on Green Pro eco-labeling. So, what are these eco-labeling agencies worldwide known as? So, worldwide there are various eco-labeling agencies. In Australia, it is called as the Good Environmental Choice Australia, GECA. In Brazil, it is called as ABNT Environmental Quality, and they have about 751 products which have got this eco-labeling. China has China Environmental Labeling, CEC, and this has about 4 lakhs products endorsed. China also has China Environmentally Friendly Certification, which has about 1200 products. Chinese Taipei has Green Mark program, which has about 5048 products certified. Colombia, which is an associate member, has Celo Ambiental Colombiano, which has 84 products. The European Union has EU Eco Label, which has 70,000 products certified by it. Germany, as I already told you, the Blue Angel Eco Label has 12,000 products endorsed by it. Germany also has Green Product Mark, which has about 400 products. Hong Kong has Hong Kong Green Label Scheme endorsing 76 building materials. India has Green Pro. I will be discussing Green Pro certification by India a little in detail in the next class, and this has 380 products approximately. Indonesia has the Indonesian Eco Label. Israel has Israel Green Label with 450 endorsed products. Japan has Eco Mark program with 5821 products. Kazakhstan has Eco Labeling with 35 endorsed products, and here you can see Europe has its own set of eco label products. Asia has its own set, with India using Green Pro. This is Green Pro by India. Again, Oceania has its own certifying agencies. Africa follows some other bodies. South America and North America have their own bodies. So, GEN is a leading network of the world's most robust eco labels. Further, Korea has the Korea Eco Label program endorsing 14,091 products. Malaysia has Cyrem Eco Labeling scheme with 353 products. New Zealand has Environmental Choice New Zealand with 1,489 products. The Nordic countries have the Nordic Swan Eco Label, which is basically Scandinavian countries, having about 36,300 eco labels. North America has UL Eco Logo, which has 7,000 products endorsed. Again, North America has the Green Seal, which has 26,000 products. Philippines has Green Choice Philippines with 53 products. Russia has Vitality Leaf with 208 endorsed products. Singapore has Singapore Green Labeling Scheme with 3,400 products. Sweden uses Good Environmental Choice, which endorses about 820 products. Sweden has the TCO certified which has products of 3,500 numbers endorsed. Thailand has Green Label Thailand endorsing 730 products. Ukraine has Eco Labeling Program Ukraine with 845 certified products. Vietnam has Vietnam Green Label with 53 certified products. By the time you are understanding or listening to this course, more products might have been endorsed. So, when I say endorsed, product, certification, information, what do we mean? How do we read the particular environmental impact of that product? That comes in the form of something like food labeling. In food we have how much is the macronutrient, carb is so much, protein is so much, fat is so much, sodium micro nutrients, salt is so much, vitamin A fortified is so much, and so on. In the same or similar way, the environmental impact of a product is shown like this. So, where is this manufactured? Delta plant, product specific, type 3 EPD. So, it could be type 1, type 2 or type 3. Here we are looking at a type 3 EPD declaration. So, they have declared cement products 3 types, type 1L, GU type 1/2, HE type 3, and the declared unit is 1 metric ton of cement. Like in food it will be 100 grams or per 100 ml. Each serving is 100 ml. So, here it is 1 metric ton of cement. Now, what all is it giving? It is giving the global warming potential in kg CO2 equivalent. For type 1L, the global warming potential is 679 kg carbon dioxide equivalent. For type 1 or type 2, it is 746 kg carbon dioxide equivalent, and type 3 it is 767 carbon dioxide equivalent, kg carbon dioxide equivalent. What is its ozone depletion potential? So, they give the various numbers of its ozone depletion potential. They give the eutrophication potential, the acidification potential, photochemical ozone creation potential, abiotic depletion non-fossil, and abiotic depletion fossil is also given. Also the product components. Here what does it have? Clinker 81%, 90% and 92%, and remaining limestone or gypsum and others form 19% or 10% or 8%. So, what is it comprised of in terms of its component? How much is the component per 1 metric ton of cement, and what all are the environmental aspects that is declared? So, all of this is shown in the environmental impact endorsement, which I said is given either as a handout or it is pasted on the product or it is inscribed on the product. It can be done in any of the ways. So, today we saw what is eco-labeling, what are the 3 types of eco-labeling, and we saw the international body which gives these eco-labeling for various countries and the criteria for all of these. With this, we will stop today's class and we will continue next class to see what India is doing in this domain of eco-labeling. Until then, thank you.